Hello, it's around a little after 9 a.m. on January 24th. I'll just give you this winter storm update or post-winter storm update. First with the, I'm going to look at some of the service here going on here. Unfortunately, MTA is leaving us stranded here on Long Island. They're not going to be running any Long Island Railroad service today. So I'll read to you some of the things from the weather from the website. MTA winter storm update. Service has been restored to portions of the above-ground New York City subway network with limited service at this time. Crews are out across the system working to assess conditions and clear signals, switches, and rails of snow. Snow fighting equipment has been deployed across the MTA rail and subway network to perform heavy-duty removal. Modified New York City Transit and MTA bus service resumed at 7 a.m. following an overnight route-by-route assessment of road conditions. Service remains suspended on the Long Island Railroad, Metro North Railroad, and Staten Island Railway. Service will be restored as conditions warrant through the day. However, subway service has been restored to portions of the above-ground network hit hardest by this weekend's record snowfall. Service will be limited as we ramp up and continue with snow removal operations. The restoration was made possible by crews who worked overnight to clear snow and ice from rails, signals, and switches. Some outages remain as crews assisted by heavy-duty snow equipment continue that work. Consult service status for the latest information. Service on New York City Transit MTA bus resumed at 7 a.m. on a modified Sunday schedule. Road crews are backed by snow fighters, made a route-by-route assessment, and will continue to monitor road conditions as restoration efforts continue. Limited buses will be making all local stops on restored routes, and standard 40-foot buses will replace articulated three-door buses on all SBS routes. Long Island Railroad service remains suspended until further notice. Many of the Long Island Railroad yards are still buried in more than 2 feet of snow, as is the Harold interlocking in Queens, where all lines intersect before entering the tunnels to Manhattan. Tracks are still impeded by stranded trains in some locations, while frozen switches prevent the railroad's snow-clearing equipment from moving through the system to reach the areas they are needed. Long Island Railroad personnel will work throughout the day to restore the railroad, focusing on the most heavily traveled branches first, with the goal of bringing back service for the Monday morning rush. So yeah, basically, they decided yesterday to keep running service, and that was my fear that because of that, trains would get disabled, and they did. Somebody was stuck on there was a train, several trains disabled. Basically, some mostly on the main line, of course. One train I heard was stranded west of Hicksville for over 3 hours. Because it lost contact with the third rail because of the snow and the ice, and they had to bring a rescue diesel to tow it to Hicksville. It was a Ronkonkoma train, and they had to bring a rescue diesel, tow it to Hicksville, and then they got a diesel train another diesel train to take them all the way down to Ronkonkoma, and that was also going on. They had last trains, but many of those last trains never were able to run because of the conditions yesterday. They should have shut down much sooner, and because they didn't, now they can't bring back service today. Because Metro North is resuming service as of midday Sunday. Metro North Railroad to begin resuming train service midday Sunday, January 26th. Metro North will begin restoring service at the outlying terminal stations after 12 noon and be fully operational in and out of Grand Central Terminal by 3 p.m., operating on a Sunday schedule. Grand Central Terminal will open for retail customers at 8 a.m. Crews continue to dig out the infrastructure, especially in the Bronx, as they clear snow from our tracks, switches, train yards, and power systems, which have to be operational before resuming service, while train equipment and crews are needed to be in position to resume service. So that's the MTA update. New Jersey Transit remains completely suspended. Nice Bus is going to try to bring back service by this afternoon. Let's see what they have here. They just put an update up here. New York City and Long Island received near record snowfalls yesterday. As a result, many roads are still dangerous and impassable as snow removal gets underway. We have suspended all AM service this Sunday morning. Limited service will begin at noon for routes that have been deemed safe for bus travel. Please note that these routes may be detoured due to road conditions. please check back here for a list of routes that will be running. So Nice Bus will start running later today on certain routes. That's good to hear. At least they are providing something. Long Island Railroad is completely not running today due to the snow. We had a lot of snow, and that's the other thing we got to talk about. Now, Suffolk County Transit is not running today, but I do want to read to you some snowfall totals. In fact, we'll just jump over to I'll look at it on the screen, and we'll go over to that. We've gotten a lot of snow. It was a record storm. Unfortunately, New York City missed its record, all-time snowfall record by a tenth of an inch. 26.8 inches was the amount of snow Central Park got. That might be a record, isn't it? That might be a record, right? Or is it a miss? Let me see the weather. I think it did snowfall mass. Let me just read that. Maybe it wasn't. Was that a record? Let me look. 26.8 at Central Park. I think that would be a record, right? I think. If I'm not mistaken, it should be a record. Well, I'm going to check that. I think that's a record, but maybe not. I think it was 26.9 was the record, and unfortunately, they did not break it. Let's see if they did. No, it missed it by 0.1, tenth of an inch. The all-time record was 26.9 inches in February 2006, so we did not break it. Sorry, but let's go to some numbers. Review instead of reading it here. I'll go to the screen so you can see them all. And then later today, I'll show you what the snow looks like in my area. Obviously, not going to any Pine Barrens today. I don't know when we'll be back to the Pine Barrens. All right, so I'm going to just read to you some snowfall totals. You don't have to look at all of them. We'll just scroll down here, and I'll just look at the ones that I want to note the most. You can see that, first of all, Connecticut, they're saying there wasn't going to be that much, but we knew what happened because the storm took that northward jog. They wound up getting around 15, 16 inches there in southern Connecticut. New Jersey, I think that this was really the hot spot, further north in New Jersey than we originally thought. It turned out to be more like central and almost northern New Jersey that got slammed by this thing. 25 inches in Franklin Lakes, 28.1 inches at Newark. This is the one I trust the most because that's the FAA observer there. So figure Newark, in this part of New Jersey, 26, 28 inches. That's over 2 feet of snow. We go into New York now, and the city, and Bronx, only one observation there, 27.6 inches. Brooklyn, 29 inches at Williamsburg, 27 inches in Brooklyn by a trained spotter. The Long Island ones obviously interest me the most, obviously. Hicksville, 29.6. I don't know if I buy that. That seems a little high, especially when you consider that Westbury's report is 18.5 inches. But that was as of 8:45 p.m. last night, and the snow was still going. Glen Cove had 18 inches. It seems like that might have been a band actually had set up east of us, and on the South Shore that might have given them a little more. More or less generally 2 feet in Nassau County. I would say 2 feet to around maybe 20 inches. I really think we got more than 18 inches here. I'm going to measure the snow later, though. Obviously, it's compacted, so it won't be that accurate. In the city, we know Central Park got 26.8 inches, which is not the record. Missed it by a tenth. Missed it by a tenth of an inch. Unbelievable. Queens got 30.5 inches of snow. Again, these are just crazy snowfall amounts. And Suffolk County also got quite a bit, but again, that eastern part of Suffolk didn't get as much as it didn't get 2 feet. The western part of Suffolk did. Comac got 26.5, Islip 25.9. But as you head east, you notice once you head toward Upton, 18.1. So they did not get 2 feet of snow out there. Manaville, 18 inches. Calverton, 16 inches. So they did not see the 2 foot totals. Once you get to eastern Suffolk, the Pine Barrens probably missed out on that for the most part. Still got a lot of snow, but not 2 feet. Now we're going to, all right, let me just finish this look over here. And now we're going to go look at New Jersey's. Of course, New Jersey's looks a little different, so we'll go here, New Jersey's. Mount Holly. I'm just going to go here. I'm not going to focus on all the other areas. But let's take a look at all these snowfall numbers here. See, Atlantic City got held down, only 13.4 inches due to that rain. But here's the thing when I talk about going further west. Burlington County, once you go further west, boy, those numbers went up a lot. 22.5 in Florence. And Mount Holly, weather office, 20.5 inches. All right. Camden County, again, 20 inches. You go down here. But once you go further south again, it gets less. Northwestern New Jersey, Hunterdon, this area got slammed. 29.6. Flemington, 28.3. Middlesex County, again, this is like central Jersey. This area got slammed. I was expecting that. Well, here's the thing. There's a lot of variability. Again, in the northwestern corner of Middlesex County, Metuchen, 27.7. East Brunswick, 24. But look what happens when you go to Cheesequake as you head toward the shore. Only 16 inches because it got held down because they got dry slotted and because of that mixed with the rain. In Monmouth County, Howell. Again, Howell is inland a little more, so they got 26.5 inches. But look at Ocean County. 20 inches in Brick. But then as we go toward Toms River, it's 17 inches. 18 point. See, as you go west, 18.5. I really would have liked to have seen a number out of Whiting. Manahawkin only 13.5. So again, right along the shore, those numbers got held down just as I expected. And that is definitely interesting for sure. So once again, I'll show you some of the information on MTA website. This is the winter storm update that I read to you earlier. So they have restored service in the city. It seems like the Long Island Railroad just dropped the ball this time, big time. By running trains yesterday, now they can't get the service back. Metro North, a lot of those areas got hit just as hard. The city got a ton of snow, and yet they're somehow able to get their trains running, but not the Long Island Railroad. That's obviously something, there's a good reason why and that's because the Long Island Railroad screwed up big time. So, and we have NICE, and this is the NICE update here, Storm Watch. No service running this morning because the roads still need to be cleaned up a little bit. They are passable, but they're still snow covered. I wouldn't say they're great though. We'll look at it later when we go out. Hopefully there'll be some bus service running by then. Otherwise we'll be walking around to show you what it looks like. But they are able to begin limited service at noon for routes that have been deemed safe for bus travel. So that's good news on their part. The last thing I just want to say, the last thing I just wanted to update you on is the power situation. We hardly have any power outages, so I'm not even going to show you a map. I want to tip my hat off to PSEG Long Island. I think they did a great job. I mean, there weren't that many outages here, but I think they did whatever outages came. They restored them very quickly. I did not lose power, and I'm forever grateful for that because. If a power outage in the wind and the cold and the blizzard would be horrible. So I'm glad. I really think these guys did a great job. So my appreciation for PSEG Long Island for keeping the lights on yesterday for most of Long Island. I really appreciate it. Thank you, PSEG Long Island. And that'll be it for this update. Stay warm, stay safe, and good luck digging out, everybody.